Well, Roy, here we are at Camp Strake, and sure is a pretty day today to come out here. I want to thank you for inviting us out to come visit the place, and really looking forward to seeing what all you're doing.
Okay, we'd be glad to show you around.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. When did this Camp Strake become a tree farm?
In 1972, they decided they needed to better manage the facilities, and part of the facilities was the trees. So
that's good. Have there been, I mean, is there any particular reasons other than just comprehensive management of the land? Were there any goals set, any purposes?
Well, one of them was fire management. We have a lot of forest here and a lot of kids on weekends. On a weekend here at camp, you could have up to 1,500 or 2,000 people in camp. Wow. And so a fire would be a real disaster, and we didn't want that. And of course the bugs was another big concern of managing the trees. We got into that in the 70s and early 80s, and that was a big part of the problem with it. So we came back and decided we needed to do a better job of managing our forest. And so that's why we got into land management and tree management really heavy.
That's fantastic.
Hired a forester and decided to do it right.
Well, and it looks like from just the little I've seen so far, you are doing it right. We'll look forward to seeing more as we go inside.
Okay.
Roy, we're in a rather unusual area for this part of East Texas, down here in the southern part. Usually in an area like this in the woods, you can't see 5 feet ahead of you. What's going on here?
Well, this is one of the areas we had the biggest concerns about, because we put a lot of kids in here on weekends. And this campsite wing is scheduled where it could hold probably 200 people if we really pushed it. And we get them all in here, and then we get a fire going, and we wouldn't have any way to get it out or get them out. So what we did was we came in here and we did a very select cut of some pine trees and cut them out, and then we had to come in and mulch, and we hired a company to come in and mulch all the debris up and make it look more like a forestry park setting, which we did, and then we accomplished that pretty well. And it really opened up the campsites, got rid of the mosquitoes and stuff, and it gave us enough money from just the trees we cut in this area to come in and hire the mulcher and clean up the debris out of it, where, you know, in a natural setting you would just leave the debris and let it rot and go away. But this is a unique thing because it is a Boy Scout camp and they actually do need to camp here, that we needed to go in afterwards and make it look like a camp again and clean it up, and that really made a huge difference, and everybody just seems to love it because it's so open and stuff. I mean, you used to couldn't even see the lake from the campsite, and now you can see the lake, you can see the other areas. I mean, it's like a totally different camp.
I really like the idea of controlling the mosquitoes a little bit by opening this up so that the air can move and the mosquitoes don't have as many places to hide. That's a benefit I wouldn't have thought of.
Oh yeah, definitely that. And during the summer months when it's so hot, people say it's just so stagnant back there in the woods, and by doing this you can feel the breeze coming off the lake and the water, and it just makes it seem like it's 10 degrees cooler where there is or not. Just open it up and getting a breeze through here.
Now, there's
a huge difference.
Yeah, there's some benefits to this operation you've put in here that I would not have thought of. I think that's great. Speaking of benefits, what are some of the benefits that you realize here at the Boy Scout camp as a result of having some of the operations that are carried out in a tree farm go on, besides the one we've already talked about?
Well, the board decided they wanted to manage the trees, of course, and do a better job with that, but the trees give us some income to do other things as well. We can do some program things with it. We can go in and clean up some areas and develop some things that we couldn't do otherwise, because, you know, we're a tree farm and it took us many years to convince them that trees are a cash crop. It's like growing cotton or corn or anything else. You cut the tree, you make the money, then you put the money back into the tree farm in some way. And we've done some replanting and taught the kids that. The kids learn a lot from this. They go out and see a stump and somebody explain to them the rings in the stump and how trees grow and what they do with that. And so there's a lot of benefits other than just, you know, clearing the trees and clearing the area out to us.
Well, that's great. And you've got what a setting to get the kids a forestry merit badge out here.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of kids from Houston that, you know, they don't realize anything about trees or how many different trees there are, and then we do forestry merit badge and they have to collect like 15 different leaves. They're going, where do I get those from? It's like, look around, you know, pick them up off the ground, guys, they're everywhere. So it's a real learning experience for them because they're used to a yard with one tree in it.
Well, this area is fortunate to have you here because they can learn a lot of things that'll serve them better in life later on.
I think so, and everything's grown in so close around us anymore. We're surrounded on 3 different sides by development, and so we've fought pretty hard to keep it like it is and keep it a natural area just for the kids, for the Scouts.
Fantastic. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing more of this natural area as we travel around on this place.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Roy, we're in a little bit different setting than we've seen in the rest of our shoots today out here at your tree farm. This gives rise to a question. what sort of obstacles have you come up against here at Camp Strake over the years, managing this as a tree farm and a scout camp?
Well, being in a scout camp gives us a lot of opportunities. From everybody that comes to the gate that's a member of the Boy Scouts, they all have an opinion about what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, what we should cut, what we shouldn't cut, and so forth. And then we have to go back to our board members who actually have a part of the decision making, and they get to decide. And sometimes it's a hard thing to convince them of what we need to do and where we need to go with it next. One of the opportunities we had over the years is this beaver pond here behind us. Started out in '77 as about a quarter-acre grassy swamp is what we used to call it. Beavers moved in. Everybody got excited. We called Wayne in and we called different people in to look at it. And we finally decided it was an asset to us rather than an opportunity. So we decided to leave it as an educational thing. And the kids just love to come look at it and see it and, you know, what's that? And, you know, we explain to them how the lodge works and stuff. And so it's been a big plus to the property rather than a minus.
I think part of the reason is, too, because this land down here is so flat, you didn't really have to worry about it covering more and more acreage because the beaver couldn't build that much dam.
No, it'll run out pretty quick. We can usually tell down the road when the beaver pond's full and it's running into Deer Lake next. So it really is an asset.
Well, that's good because you can take lemons and make lemonade out of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, while we're here, also I'd like to ask you, we have obstacles, we've talked about benefits. What sort of future do you see for tree farming in Texas?
Well, for our part, I think it's a good future because we're going to still continue to use it for education. We're going to use it for income. We're going to use it to manage our property wisely, which we haven't done so well in the past, and we're going to continue to do that. As far as the state, I would hope other landowners would be doing the same thing and using it for a future, you know, benefit down the road and not just clear-cutting property for strictly the profit of it. So hopefully they're doing those kind of things like we are, and it's making a difference somewhere.
Well, I think it is. We're beginning to see more and more of that.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you for having us out here today.
You're welcome.
It's been fun. It's nice to be out on a sunny day.
Yes, it is.
And to see some of this and to walk through the woods. And thank you very much again, Roy, for letting us come out.
Thanks for coming.
You bet.
Camp Strake, 2,075 acres. Here's I-45. The South Loop running around Conroe. Here's downtown Conroe right up here. Here's our main entrance. We came in a little earlier today. We took those first shots over here around Deer Lake. We took those other shots over here around the Beaver Pond. We took a walk down Cooster Road, and now we're right here next to Grand Lake. It's about a 110-acre lake. And what it is, here's the San Jacinto River being the back line of Camp Strake. So it's an old oxbow. And it's kind of a neat historical spot, Conroe. This was the swimming, fishing hole for all of Conroe for many, many years. So, Camp Strake.